Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to the Wise Guys, the largest BYU sports live stream show in the world, the most watched collegiate sports live stream show on YouTube. I'm Dave McCann. Jason Shepard in for Blaine tonight. Good to have you here.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's always good having you here.
It's always fun to be able to do shows with you.
We need more wise guys, and you're one of us. So.
Can I ask you a question before we start?
Yeah.
I have. How long have you been doing this show? It's at least 2 years. Is
Coming
it 3?
up on our fourth year anniversary.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
Okay, so as many times as I see you during the week, and I've always wanted to ask, you've never asked. Your social media teases in the tux.
Yeah.
That's just tux from the waist up, right?
Well, no.
Are you in full tux?
Because I don't know if my wife's going to shoot the whole thing or not.
So you've got the full tux on.
Yeah, I might not have the shoes on, but
well, I know you were a longtime anchor, and I know that there are a lot of anchors that'll
just walk around the house
suit
in
coat, the suit coat and the tie on the waist up, and like they're wearing shorts.
Yes, that's true. Shout out to Singapore. Hey, David, good to have you with us on the stream. The stream's hopping tonight as always. So you
are
do
wearing
that.
a full tux.
We shoot it right in the house, and what it's designed to do, which is done for you, hey, North Carolina, what's done for 4 years now in Ridgecrest, California, is people stop and go, why is this guy in a tux? Next thing you know, they know what's going on, Wise Guys.
There you go. Okay, well, I've
Plus
learned
the Vegas Wise Guys thing, they're dressed for the nines.
I just assumed it was a tux from the waist up, and you just had your slacks on.
People say, hey, why are you in a tux talking about Wise Guys? I'm like, why did you stop and listen while you're thumbing through? Because you were in a tux? I go, mission accomplished.
I'm glad I finally asked and got the answer.
There you go. Yeah, it's full body armor.
Okay.
That's how we roll.
Okay, good.
Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union, distributed by the Deseret News. Watch for our brand new podcast out tomorrow, wherever you get your podcasts. And we encourage you to subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. You can see all our past content there, and would love it if you hit the free subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And that'll help us grow the empire. As we say hello, there's Salt Lake City, there's Orem, Utah. Good to have you guys with us. We got a super show tonight. It's like first we have the three wise men coming on, not together, but separately. But when you're done with our show tonight, you'll go, you know what? Those are three sharp guys. And then there's you and me, which we at least add up to one. So we have four wise men.
Four wise men with you and I adding up to one complete.
Yeah, on the show. That might be a show record. Because if Blaine were here, it'd be 3.5 wise men. So you boost us up a little bit.
I appreciate that.
So that's cool. All right, what do we got going down tonight?
How about BYU football as part of 8 Days of Glory? You want to explain what that is?
8 Days of Glory. So the early schedule has come out, and there's an 8-day period of glory for a football fan, and we're going to walk you through that.
I like
Something to look forward to at the end of the summer. BYU basketball lands a huge addition for next season, and that was over the weekend. And then before we came on the air tonight, they got another one, so we'll talk about that coming up.
Yeah, AJ Dybantsa getting a boost on the NBA draft board, and quite frankly, I just kind of feel like this is everybody else coming late to the party, something we already knew and expected.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
So you can't go any higher, right? You can't go any higher. Kirby Heyborne, actor, singer extraordinaire, familiar face on BYU TV, going to join us, talk about how he's working to create family-friendly movies. And he's a phenomenal talent and a fun story. He'll be here in just a few minutes.
Also joining us tonight, Jeff Burningham, a BYU grad, which means he's awesome. Also an entrepreneur and an author of a brand new book. It's called The Last Book Written by a Human, Becoming Wise in the Age of AI.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. He's going to have some helpful things, and he teaches the kids over at BYU. So he's dealing with multiple generations as we deal with AI. And I love the book title. We'll ask him about that. The Last Book Written by a Human. How do you not read that? It's like, it's the last one written by a human. I better check that out.
Check that out before it's gone.
Tomorrow night's annual Pillar of the Valley here in Utah Valley will honor the last 7 BYU presidents. Curtis Blair, BYU grad. He's the CEO and president of the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce. He'll be here. And we'll talk about the presidents that we all know. And President Oaks is going to be there tomorrow night. And there have been some phenomenal presidents over the years. So that's coming up tonight too. And we encourage your comments on the live stream, and we'll try to give you a shout out wherever you are. There's one from Chicago. Good to have you with us. Watched last week in Paris. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. You're now one of our favorites on the stream.
Very nice.
And there's someone said, Jason, we love you. Hey, Ruth. Good to have you on
I'm
the
not
stream.
related to Ruth that I'm aware of, so that's probably legit.
I was going to ask if that's a family member, but I know better than that.
It's not. But thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that.
Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, and packaging equipment, dispensers, and service and repairs with over 150 distribution facilities across the country, over 6,000 employees. Learn more at bradyplus.com. The president of Brady Plus, Travis Brady, will be on the show next week.
Also presented by Mountain America Credit Union, helping people achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're buying a home, planning for retirement, or managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, technology, and guidance to help you succeed. There is a lot of information waiting for you at macu.com.
You should read commercials. That's good. Nice job.
Thank you.
And by Re-Lyte, our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond, the secrets in the salt. Find out what it can do for you at redmond.com. It is not AJ. It is not Jane. It is not Bear this week. We're rolling in a whole new sport. And so that's coming up here in just a few minutes. Who could it be? Well, you'll find out in just a bit. Let's talk about AJ Dybantsa. And since he is the topic on campus, moved to number one, ESPN's projection in the NBA draft. He's got until May 1 to announce his intention. Still hasn't. Even last week when we were down together in St. George, it's like, well, my mom hasn't said yet. Draft lottery's May 10th, and AJ has until May 27th to withdraw and return to BYU. So in theory, he could get in, look at the options, and then come back. Until he says he's not coming back, there's that chance. We all expect him to go, as does most of the free world. But you know what? He listens to his mom, and Chelsea has not said anything in the last couple of weeks.
Well, the good news is whenever he goes to the NBA, and again, like you said, we all expect it to be this year. You know, the good news is, as you mentioned, there is a deadline. Even if you say I'm going to declare and I'm going to go to the NBA draft, there is a date in which you can take that back and still have eligibility to be able to return. And I think that's actually one of the really good rules over the last couple of years that they've put into play to kind of be a bit of a fail-safe for some of these kids when maybe they went in with big eyes and big dreams, and then they realized that maybe it's not there. Now, certainly AJ is not in that camp.
After a few workouts, I think I need more work.
But the good news is, and we were joking at the beginning of the show, everybody else is now finally, from top to bottom, for the most part, falling in line that AJ should, and by all anticipation, will be the number one pick, whoever gets that.
Total runaway for AJ at number one.
Well, and remember, look, there's going to be some people who just default to Darren Peterson because that's all they've heard, and that was the guy coming into the season that was going to be the number one pick, and then he just didn't have a great year. He had certainly great stretches and certainly great games, but there were a lot of question marks because of when he would play and when he wouldn't and why he wouldn't play, and a lot of things have kind of pushed him down the list. Now, granted, anybody that ends up with Darren Peterson is going to love it, but AJ Dybantsa is the guy right now that everybody looks at as the cream of the crop, and whoever gets the number one pick, and like you mentioned, we'll know May 10th with the NBA draft lottery, they are going to get a superstar.
Yeah. Yes, they are. They can build a franchise around him. John's on the stream from West Valley, Utah. Sylvia's in from Wisconsin. There's Roseville, California. Good to have you with us as well. It's been quite a past 7 days for the Dybantsas. Let me show you a couple of pictures. First, on Tuesday at the inaugural Ascend Classic down at Black Desert Resort in St. George, featuring AJ and BYU freshman golf sensation Kihei Akina. There's Ace Dybantsa and Alan Akina in there. A couple of more. We had they had a golf tournament there at Black Desert, and then we had a dinner and Q&A with these two fans asking AJ, "Hey, so are you coming back?" And they said, one said, "What would be the reason you come back for another year?" And he goes, "My mom." That was it. I go, "Do you want to elaborate on that?" He goes, "No." And there's a picture showing how tall look
at those
Kihei
three
and
athletes. Look at those three athletes right there.
That's right. A lot of generations represented there. And then also last week, AJ and Ace received a guided tour of the Linden Temple with Elder Ronald A. Rasband of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. AJ tweeted these pictures on X. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon last Thursday, in 3 hours, he had 103,000 views. As of last night, It's 220,000 and growing. President or Elder Rasband and Ace talked about it during a ball game, and Ace asked him to show him a temple and asked him if he would be the guide, and Elder Rasband said yes. And as you can see, he kept his word.
How cool is that? For many reasons. Number one, that you have Elder Rasband being able to take the time to take him through the temple open house, but from AJ and Ace's perspective, to have the interest in seeing what the temple is all about. I thought that was a really cool story, and one of those ones certainly BYU fans latch onto. But the fact that they were curious and had interest in knowing more about what a temple was like, I thought that was a great story.
Yeah, it's cool. It's all good. Basketball news. They're getting some here, who's coming, who's leaving. Let's jump into it for a second. Collin Chandler commits to BYU. Saw that on his Instagram. He played at Kentucky last season. Originally committed to the Cougars, but chose to follow Mark Pope to Kentucky after his mission. His tweet on Saturday said it all. He said, quote, "I'm coming home." The 6'5" guard averaged 9.7 points, shot 41% from the three-point line. Battle tested in the SEC with 31 starts. Return missionary, older, mature. BYU's got to get older and more mature in that roster, and so they hit a home run getting Collin Chandler to come back. He's kind of like a Richie Saunders, a little bit different, but certainly an opportunity to be the face of the program like Richie was.
You know, what was interesting was, and I can't remember who exactly put it up, but there was a comparison after the sophomore seasons for him and then for Richie, and it was pretty crazy how similar the sophomore seasons were. And if we look and see what Richie did from his sophomore year to his junior year, quite the jump. Yeah. And if the said player, which I still can't say his name as a BYU employee until it's official, if that player makes that kind of jump from year 2 to year 3, BYU is in really good position.
Well, just before we came on the air tonight, Tyler Betsey, a 6'8" forward from Syracuse, committed to BYU. He's shooting 40.7% from the three-point line. He'll be a junior. Don't know a lot about him outside of seeing some video of him on social media, but a 6'8" kid who can hit the three is something they really could have used last season. And so over these next few weeks, we're going to see this roster coming together, because here's who they've lost. By the way, that portal closes on April 21st, so you still have some time. We hope you stay. Rob Wright III's visiting Kentucky tonight. A lot of projections are that he's gonna go there. We'll see.
The reports are he's either going to Kentucky or coming back to BYU is what a lot of the national. Jeff Goodman is the one that actually repeated that again earlier today, that he believes it's either Kentucky or coming back to BYU.
And that decision might be made tonight.
Sure.
Once you go back there and see it, you either want to go or you don't. Kentucky needs some help, so I wouldn't be surprised if they roll it out for Rob. Kennard Davis is in the portal. Dominic Diamande is committed to Pittsburgh. Xavier Staten's committed to Oregon State. Tyler Maruss is in the portal. KJ Perry, last year's #1 JUCO player, he's in the portal. Abdul Ahmed, which is a surprise to a lot of us, he's in the portal. Alexei Kostic, also a surprise, he's in the portal.
Because I'm with you, and I even said on BYU Sports Nation the other day that once prior to Kostic and Beto jumping in the portal, I felt that we wouldn't see any more get in the portal. I thought everything else news-wise for BYU would be additions.
Yeah.
And I said, if anything else happens, it would be a surprise to me. Well, both of these are a surprise. I expected Ahmed to be back, and especially Kostic. I thought he would be a guy that stayed. I know BYU wants him to stay, but obviously, there are a lot of different factors that go into this, but I think of all of the names that went in, I think Kostic is the one that surprised me the most.
Yeah, he showed signs of being able to hit a shot. Dribbling and defense were two areas where, as a freshman, he needed to get a lot better. But some kids just think their value is higher than the valuation. And that could have been the case there, too, where it's like, hey, we're just not going to pay that. We're not going to pay that much. And so kids jump in the portal. And that's probably the case with most kids in the portal, feeling their value is greater than what, or they would say, And so in he goes. We'll see. But we do know who's here. At least Collin Chandler is going to be here. Tyler Betsey, it sounds like he's going to be here. Bruce Branch, a 5-star 6'7" kid, is going to be here. Dean Rickard, a 6'8" 4-star, is coming from Timpview, just down the road. Brooks Barr, a 6'4" guard out of Texas. And then Brody Kozlowski, Hadim Boop, Nate Pickens, who was hurt all last season, and Dawson Baker's status is still TBA because, I mean, he really wrecked his knee. It's either if he can come back, I believe he will. But if that knee is just, so banged up, I think he'll probably retire from basketball. It's not like he'd be going somewhere else. It's either that knee's going to work or it's done.
Yeah, well, he's not going to risk, his lifestyle moving forward if there's going to be any problems. But I'm with you. I think if he can play, I certainly think he would like to. And, we saw what type of addition he can make to a team, whether it's, as a backup ball handler, being able to hit some big shots. Dawson Baker is a really good player. And when he came to BYU, he had to adopt a different type of mindset because when he was at UC Irvine, he was the main playmaker. And he came here and had to come off the bench and play a little bit of a backup role. And I think and I've talked to him about this a couple of times, it's something that took him a while to get used to and sort of figure out how it was going to work for him. But I thought he did a fantastic job. I really hope he's healthy enough to be able to come back.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Plus, he'd be able to go out on his terms.
That's right.
Playing instead of watching. We'll keep you posted on that. The Cougars they're in on some big kids. It's all over social media that they're after the 7-1 center coming out of UConn, and we'll see about that. It's hard to know what to believe, and so you just kind of see it and kind of watch it. And usually when the kid announces it on his Instagram, it's usually the best sign.
He's Instagram official.
Yeah, it seems like. But they're after size and experience. And when it comes to roster building, it's now age over beauty. ESPN's top 10 projected draft picks in the NBA are all freshmen. And they include AJ, Darren Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson. Saw him against with North Carolina in the exhibition game. He was great. Kingston Flemings, Darius Acuff Jr., and the others. All fantastic freshmen, but none of their teams played in the championship game. Michigan started a grad student, a sophomore, a junior, another grad student. And UConn starting 5, senior, freshman, junior. There was one freshman of the 10, and it was just a role player, not a superstar.
Unless you are a superstar, top 5, top 10 NBA lottery pick, most teams now, the trend is
get them young.
They're gonna go after those players because they want them.
Yeah.
But in general, if you're not one of those top 10 guys, teams want people who have been through a season or two somewhere else, and they can bring in that are a little bit more of a polished product.
Yeah. It's interesting that the NBA is taking all the kids.
Yeah.
Then they want them to act like adults when they get there. BYU is going. We're taking the one kid, the 17-year-old, in Bruce Branch, but everyone else, for the most part, has got to be older and more experienced. The model was set by Michigan. All 5 starters were from the transfer portal. You can actually do that. It's just a matter of who you bring together. And you brought together a couple of grad students and some kids that have sown their oats somewhere else, right? So moving forward for BYU, it's about age and experience. And you get the best player possible, and that happens to be a 17-year-old.
Well, and the other part is you can put together a roster that you believe is something that can get you to the Sweet 16 and beyond, and then injuries can derail you. And that's what we saw with BYU this year. Injuries derailed what most believed was a potential Final Four team.
Got to have some luck.
Yeah, it's part of it, and it's nothing you can ever plan on.
No, sometimes you need a half-court shot. Most of the time, you just need your players healthy.
Yeah.
Read more about my article at Deseret.com on BYU's roster building. It's age and experience. Contrary to what the NBA is doing in the League of Professionals, we're like, give me the 10 freshmen, and we'll go with them. BYU's like, okay, well, if it's not the number 1 freshman or the number 2 freshman, give me some seniors. Yeah. Give me some juniors. and we'll go to war with them. BYU in the early polls for next season, they come out fast and furious. And it's basically based on street cred because so many rosters have been rebooted. But John Rothstein has them at 25. Field of 68 has them at 24. ESPN 22. Fox 20. Bleacher Report 18. Those will fluctuate by who they add. But the street cred is there.
Yeah, there's no question. Well, there's no real reason that they would have any idea what BYU is going to be next year because they don't know what the roster is going to look like. It's so much in flux right now. So this really is going off of the credentials of Coach Young and his staff and what they've been able to do the 2 previous seasons. And I think that speaks very highly of how they're looked at.
Yeah, there's like 340 teams.
Right.
So it's good to have people going, put them at 20.
Right.
Or higher. And so that's where they are. And we'll see if they get the kids they want, it's going to get better. If they get the kids they want, they'll be in the top 20 going to play Ohio State on November 2nd. The preseason schedule is coming together. We see bits and pieces of it, most of it from the BYU opponents who are quick to make announcements. Ohio State, November 2nd against BYU at the Delta Center, and then it's understood that BYU will go back there and play a game. That's a great opener.
I love the fact that you're getting a neutral site game at the Delta Center, which we know was always very pro-BYU.
And a meaningful one, and hopefully they'll do the tickets a little differently this year so that more fans get up there than we did this last year.
I love that type of matchup. I think it's great.
Yeah. November 12th, Montana State's at BYU. Feels like Blaine and I will be on that one. November 23rd and 25th, the Maui Invitational, and there's some good teams in there.
Yeah, BYU, Arizona, Clemson, Ole Miss, Washington, Providence, Colorado State, and VCU. So nice group of teams over there.
You can
and it's Maui.
Yeah, and you can beef up your RPI.
Yeah,
pretty quick. And BYU will have a good team heading over there. And so I think it may be a chance to play Arizona 4 times.
Do we want that?
I don't know. I don't know. What we want is a good seeding and healthy for the NCAA tournament. If that takes 4 times with Arizona, yes, so be it.
Hey, you get nowadays. It's all about who you play, right?
Yeah.
If you're willing to play the teams, you'll get credit for it.
Speaking of playing in front of a lot of people, here are the TV viewers per Super Sports on X. Viewership for men's basketball in the western part of the country. They put out initial numbers that were wrong, and then they corrected them. These are the correct ones. But total viewership for basketball, they have Arizona number 1 in the West at 53.8 million. BYU's number 2 at 20.62 million. Remember, Arizona had a few extra games in the big dance where they had a whole lot of people watching. UCLA third at 19.91 million. BYU had more basketball viewership than UCLA this year, and I'm not sure there's many times we've been able to say that. Utah was at 4.06 million, so BYU had 16 million more viewers. We just, we had time to get that in, so we put that in there. But when you combine basketball and football, BYU had 58.18 million viewers this year. Now, think about NIL and think about the headaches and all the stuff that might come with that. But BYU sent their basketball team out and their football team out and had almost 60 million people watching them on television. Third most in the West behind Oregon and Arizona. And Oregon had some huge Big Ten games.
Yes, they did.
And Arizona basketball got the boost. No one was really watching the Wildcats football-wise, but basketball got them 53 million. So, how about that? Almost 20 million more viewers than USC and UCLA in football, basketball combined.
See, that's saying something. And that quite frankly should solidify anybody's opinion on how big of a brand BYU has. And obviously there are certain circumstances that played into, especially this year, where so much hype with the football and back-to-back 11-win seasons, and then with AJ coming in with the basketball team. And on that note, obviously this year, far more big network games than in years past, and most of it is because of AJ. They wanted to be able to showcase him. So, all that plays into it. But again, it just reaffirms BYU's place in terms of being a national brand that people want to tune into.
And the schedule looks like it's going to be nice again. We'll see where basketball goes, but the football schedule's loaded, and it's going to be pretty attractive. Our first guest tonight is an actor, singer, writer, composer, narrator, comedian, husband, father, very familiar face on BYU TV, where he hosts Making Good. Also recently seen by millions hanging out with former BYU quarterback Steve Young, a Super Bowl MVP. Our pleasure to welcome Kirby Heyborne to the Wise Guys. Welcome.
What a treat. I made it, you guys.
We're glad you're here.
My dad's so proud of me right now. I finally made it. You know your career has peaked when you've made it to Wise Guys.
A year from now, let's reevaluate and let's just make sure it didn't end on Wise Guys.
This could be the downfall of things when you look back a year from now.
So look, we watched you interview our friend Steve Young at Roots Tech, sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It was huge. What's the one question you wanted to ask him but you didn't?
Has he seen any of my movies? Or if he remembers that he's in a movie with me.
Which is it?
It's Singles Ward.
Singles Ward. What was your interaction with him in that?
Zero. But we were in the same movie. They had just a lot of cameos in that, and he was a bishop he wasn't married at the time, and so he said, if you're 26 and unmarried, you're a menace to society. is what he was saying. Yeah. So, no, I don't know. He's just such a great guy. And then being able to sit down with him, he is so warm. If you can catch him, like he's so fast and going from thing to thing, if you can catch him and sit down, he's all in and such a great guy to be with.
That's why all those defenses never really got to know him because I couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
But then some guys, like Reggie White, I think cut him a few times, and then they became friends. But you're right.
Oh, he tells such a beautiful story about Reggie White that he talked about on Roots Tech on the stage. Just beautiful. That you can be friends and still do your job, which means to tackle and annihilate the person across from you, but still Reggie would hug him, hey, how you doing, Steve? Your parents here? And it's such a fun thing.
I think the thing about Steve that impresses me the most off the field is his ability to be able to talk and be comfortable about just about any subject.
Anything.
And not just comfortable, but to know what he's talking about. He can talk about sports. He can talk about things of a religious nature. He can talk about the law. He can talk, you name it, he's comfortable and educated in it.
He is. I think it's just, he's so handsome. And you get caught up in that and you just believe anything he says. I think that's what it is.
I think so, because then you read books about him saying he was scared to death.
Yeah.
And he had this challenge, he had that challenge. It's like, man, you were out there. It looked like you were just having the time of your life.
Yeah.
But how big is Roots Tech? Where does it rank among like general conference as far as audience size in the church?
It is now considered one of the main four. They call them the big four. They have the Light the World campaign for Christmas, and then they have Easter, and they have General Conference, and now Roots Tech is a part of that. It reaches millions and millions and millions, 20 plus million people worldwide. It's interesting because the majority of the audience is non-members. The majority of the audience are just people that love that connection to their family history, to their roots. There are people that come from far and wide just to understand a little bit more about the technology that can connect them to that family story. And it's such an honor to be a part of it.
How big of a deal was that for you? You've done a lot of different things. How nerve-wracking was that for you?
Not nerve-wracking at all. When they took me to lunch to ask me if I wanted to do it, I was interested because a friend had said, "Oh, Kirby, you might be good for this." And we're sitting there at lunch, and they said, "We'd love to have you do this. And will you think about it? And also, do you know much about family history?" And I said, "Oh, do I know about my family history?" And I pull out my phone and I'm showing them. I think being a Heyborne, my dad is so into family history. Yeah. We have books that he's compiled on our genealogical tree and stories, so I could tell them. So you could see them kind of a little excited, like, okay, he's the guy.
He is our guy.
He not only can be charming on stage, but he actually likes family history. So I pulled out my phone, saw if we were related. They had the app to see if you're related, and we were. And so that was 5 years ago. I've done it now for 4 years, and what an amazing experience.
By the way, is there an app or a part of an app that is more exciting than the Are We Related app on Family Search?
I think that's it. It's so fun. And especially when I'm there in the audience and there are tens of thousands of people there, and you click, "Are we related?" and it just populates. I see third cousins and 10th cousins, and I can ask people for $10 or something because cousins help each other out.
We're family. I'm good for it. You know we're family.
Everybody's hoping Sam Walton's name pops up in there. So you're like,
one of these days I'm hoping Dave McCann shows up on mine.
One of these.
Yeah, we should see if we're related, Dave. We got blue eyes.
That's right.
We're European.
Sometimes they're red, but Yeah, they're colorful. They're colorful. When you think about Singles Ward, the RM, the best 2 years, and the church culture that will judge you forever by those performances, what's it like to make those kind of films, to have made those kind of films?
It's honestly was an honor. I didn't know any better when I started out. And luckily, my dear friends who were the producers and director on that, Dave Hunter and Kurt Hale, they've just become dear friends. We all just went out on this journey together to let's tell authentic, fun stories about a subject that not many people know about, and do it in an authentic way. And they paved the way for that. And I'm just so thankful that they let me participate in that journey with them.
Well, you mentioned paving the way for films like that.
Yeah.
And it's an underserved audience
Yes.
that want that type of entertainment, things that they can enjoy without having to worry about certain things or worrying about a lot of things.
Right.
How has the community that wants that type of entertainment, how have they embraced you and what you've done?
Oh, they love it. There are people that have gone on missions, they said, because they saw Best 2 Years.
Yeah.
And there was an authentic portrayal of that was exactly what my mission was like. And we filmed that 24 years ago.
Right.
And it still is classic. It's evergreen, because even though there's technology now that missionaries use, there's still that element of struggling, wanting to be successful, wanting to connect, and I think that's resonated. It's been I've loved it. So many people come up to me and we're already friends, and they say, "Oh, does it bother you if all these people come up and talk to you?" No, because you're treating me like a good friend, and I love it.
That's cool. That's cool. Actor extraordinaire Kirby Heyborne's on the Wise Guys tonight, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. You just got back from Romania, where you're scouting areas for a new film this fall. And you're not just starring in films, you're also funding them through the Help Them See Foundation. What is Help Them See?
Help Them See is an organization. It's a nonprofit that my partner Garrett Batty and we started. We looked at the landscape. There are films that do not portray values and belief authentically, but there's an audience for it. And we started thinking, where are those films? And we saw that the pipeline is broken. It's the money and infrastructure. So having a film that portrays faith accurately, and values, and leaves you feeling like you're a better person, those sometimes don't make a lot of money. Yeah. We saw that there are a lot of great movies that portray aspects of our faith really well, but we wanted to start finding movies like an Ocean's 11 that is fun to watch. We want to have entertainment first, but then you feel better at the end of it. So one of our first films that we're doing under this banner of the Help Them See Foundation is a true story about a man who lived in East Berlin during the 60s and 70s, so under the communist regime. And he was so good and lived his faith and was so kind that the German government actually thought he was a spy. He was interrogated, he was imprisoned just because he was so good. There's no way a person could be this good without trying to do something for the Americans, trying to sneak in propaganda and stuff. So we are telling this beautiful story that's a true story in a way that it'll show up on their Netflix queue and say, oh, this looks like a fun movie. So Garrett and I are now taking these films that the whole world wants to see, that there's an audience for, The Chosen, so many people see that, and we're building a community of donors and people that want to see values authentically portrayed on screen in a not boring way. That's the thing. I feel like when we're really good at getting them portrayed authentically, but you kind of want to fall asleep sometimes. So we feel like the slate of films that we have right now are ones that will make people entertained, and they'll be excited to share with their friends.
How can people get in this community of fundraisers? How can people help? Where can they go?
You go to helpthemseefoundation.org, And you can just see all what we're about and be a part of this community. And it's been so great. We've already raised since February $1.2 million, which is a lot. But in the scheme of Hollywood and movies, it's barely a drop in the bucket. And we're on track, and hopefully we get to 4.5 by June.
By June?
So that we've got 2 films that are ready to roll into production. So let's get the Cougar Club. Everybody,
Cougar Nation, let's go.
Come on, guys.
This.
Get this.
Help them
it's going to be something amazing.
HelpThemSeeFoundation.org.
Yes.
To get involved with that.
You know, it's interesting because the world today seems to be going in the opposite direction of the values. Is that why you feel like the audience is growing for these movies?
Yes. Like you mentioned, you want to sit down with your family and not worry. But I also think we want to sit down with our family and be entertained. Mm-hmm. We don't want to be bored.
Yeah.
And so we're finding that the audience that's why Chosen is so well accepted. It's done well, it's filmed well, it's acted well, and it's something you can sit down and watch with the whole family. Garrett and I we're trying to bring some comedy into it. I don't think that's been done since the Singles Ward days, but that was very niche. And we're trying to get this broader audience on board that can feel good when they're watching a movie.
Well, Sylvia on the stream from Wisconsin tonight says, I love Kirby's show, Making Good. It makes me want to do good deeds. And you've got a Making Good special coming this summer on BYU TV. You can catch all the episodes, by the way, in the series on the BYU TV app for free. Just download it. You can watch Kirby 24/7. What are you most proud about this production, Making Good?
Making Good was such an amazing thing to be a part of. If you're not familiar with it, we find organizations, nonprofits that are making a difference in the world in a unique way. I join up with them. In the beginning, it's funny. I get in over my head, and by the end, everybody's crying, including myself. I have met the greatest human beings on earth that relentlessly, day after day, get up and they help kids with disabilities, or they're bringing joy to veterans with PTSD, or they're helping animals in some amazing way. It's changed my life. I feel like it's made me a more humble, more appreciative, more joyful person being a part of Making Good.
But you're a singer, and so you have to sing too as part of this.
Yeah,
That's a lot of pressure to come up with a new song every week.
It's so stressful. When we were coming up with the idea for the show, the creator, Greg Kiefer, he told me all the ideas, and I said, you know what? I'd like to add one more thing. I'd love to, as a gift, write a song for every organization. He said, great, let's do it. It was a great idea when it's on paper, but when it's the night before and you need to write a universal song that's accepted by this organization and the world, and you have to write a song about pot-bellied pigs that are going to be slaughtered, it's a lot of stress.
That could be a lot of stress.
Yeah, but it worked out. It worked out every time, and I think we hit lightning in a bottle. The show's been nominated for an Emmy. We're hopeful to be nominated again this year, but it says that, like you said, there's an audience for good quality entertainment that's entertainment first, that you get your vegetables, your broccoli, and you don't really realize it.
Is there a story or an interaction that stands out to you during the run of the series?
Yes, but we only have like 2 minutes left.
We have as long as
we need.
This story's interesting.
There's a man, there's an organization that helps men and women who suffer from PTSD. It's called Saddles and Service. All of these organizations are amazing, but this one stands out the most. His name is Tom. He's a rancher up in northern Wyoming, and what the organization does is it helps these men and women who get to the point where they feel like the world would be a better place without them. The Saddles and Service teaches them in California for 8 months how to be a cowboy or a cowgirl, and then for a week they go up into northern Wyoming near Cody to Tom Bircher's ranch, and they do a cattle drive. And I'm from Wyoming.
Yeah.
I grew up, I understand spurs, I understand chaps, but also my family listened to Wham. So we're kind of
some balance.
Weird,
you got some balance.
Yes. Yeah. So I knew how to ride horses. So I'm up there and I looked so good on this horse. I was doing so great. And the dew and the steam's coming up on the morning when me and a young man named Kyle, who was a police officer in California, he was there a part of the drive. It gets to the point where it's just Kyle and me, and the rest of the crew can't be with us. And the we're coming down the steep hill trying to drive the cattle, and it was a beautiful spiritual experience. Kyle's down in the ravine, and the horse starts slipping just slightly on this shale rock. Yeah. And so I start getting scared. And the first thing you need to know about horses is they know when you're scared, and that scares them. And so this horse is one of the nicest horses. I start to get spooked because I'm on a steep hill. Yeah. She's sliding, and she says, "Get this idiot off of me." So she starts bucking, and there's no cameras around either. So it's just me, the horse, and Kyle on his horse, and I'm terrified. The horse, we're sliding down the hill. She's bucking, and she bucks me off. I land on my neck and my shoulder. I'm scraped up, and I'm this close to crying, and I'm terrified. Kyle comes up and he says, "Kirby, we forgot to tell you that if the horse starts bucking, you just pull on the reins and get it to go in a circle, and it'll stop that." Stop bucking. He says, "You all right to get on the horse?" And I go, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm so close to crying. He says, "All right, let's get on." So I get on the horse, and just then the drone catches up with us. I don't know if you guys have heard a drone. It's a loud, scary noise. Here's a spooked horse already. We're on a hill, and a very spooked man, and the drone comes up. The horse starts bucking, and I start screaming, "Kyle, she's bucking again." He goes, "Turn, Kirby, turn." So I'm waving the drone away because I'm scared for my life that we're both going to roll down this mountain. And I pull really hard, and we start turning, and she calms down. If you watch the episode, people since have said, "Oh, I saw that episode with the cowboys. You are such a good horseman." Wow. It looked like you knew what you were doing. You can't see the fear in my eyes. But the point is, right after that, I get off the horse, and like Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings, Tom Bircher, this beautiful man whose ranch that we're on, comes up. He's a total cowboy. And he sees that I'm off the horse, and he says, "Kirby, are you all right?" And I go, yeah, Tom, I'm okay. He was also a sergeant in the military, and he had gone through all of this PTSD. So he knew how to lead men, and that's why he's a part of this. And then he grabs me by the shoulders, and he goes, "No, Kirby, are you really all right?" And I go, "No, Tom, I'm not all right." And this is the moment that I'm getting to. Here's a man that he didn't really want the crew to show up because he's kind of a private man. He's a military man, and he's a cowboy. Like, his hands, you could grate cheese with how hard his hands were. Like, he was so rough, but a beautiful man. And I'm a hugger. I show up the first day, and he's like, doesn't want to hug, doesn't want the crew there. So to have this man get off his horse and get me calm, and then say, "Are you a praying man, Kirby?" And I said, "Yes, Tom, I'm a praying man." And he grabbed me by both hands, and he said the most beautiful prayer. Basically, just calm this boy down. Let him know that you're here. We got up on the horse, and that's just a moment that he and I shared. Kyle got the rest of the horses together, but we got back to where the crew was. They said, "All right, let's keep filming." And they could see I had tears in my eyes and some dirt on my neck. And they go, "Let's get Kirby off the horse." And but anyway, the show is filled with moments like that of people that are that love human beings and are there to lift each other up. And so I'm forever grateful for my relationship with Tom.
Kirby Heyborne's on the Wise Guys, live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Couple more questions, and we're going to hit you up with 5 questions, rapid fire.
I love it. Okay.
But it was on a set. You're working on a play in Los Angeles. You weren't excited about the play, but there's a sound engineer there and says, "Hey, Kirby, I got an idea for you.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in narrating books?" And so you took him up on it. Whether you loved it or not, you have since done thousands of book narrations, and it's taken you into a whole new chapter in your career. How much fun has that been?
Oh, I love it. I narrate every single day. Right before I was coming down here, I was just finishing recording an audiobook. That's been such a beautiful part of my career. I moved to Los Angeles thinking the only goal was I'm going to be the titular character in a sitcom. That's it. And then when this window opened up, it was amazing and beautiful. And I've done thousands of audiobooks. I've done it with famous people. I've done famous books, stupid books, everything in between. And
what's the most challenging voice? Because you do voices in these books. See, Shep and I would just be reading like we read, but you
guys are both
on an adventure.
Blessed with what's called a golden voice. Oh. You hear that. That's why you guys have a career in this. No, any South African is a hard accent.
Yeah.
I can do any accent poorly, but good
any-
enough, like
yeah.
enough for people. So yeah, I can do any accent except for South African. It's like a mix between New Zealand and England, and I don't know where to land on it, but yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to get my Dave McCann down.
All right, everybody. Welcome to
a bunch
Wise Guys.
of us and and
Yeah,
this.
I'm gonna fill it up, guys.
Think about your life.
AJ Dybantsa.
Think about your life and this pattern that you've been through. Some great adventures, and you're still young, so we're just really still all just going through this.
Yeah.
But in what ways have you seen divine intervention kind of connecting the stars in your journey to one leading you to Wise Guys tonight,
Yeah.
but even the greater things as you've moved through?
I feel like God has been a part of my life every step of the way. And even when I'm fighting it, why am I not the main star on this sitcom? God has always been saying, Kirby, I'm going to take care of you. I need you to be a light. I need you to help other people come to me. And as I've done that, honestly, and especially in hindsight, you see every single step of the way. There, in my poem, there weren't just one set of footprints. There's always the two. I've always felt that along that beach. It's been every part of every day. I know that I've been blessed.
Fantastic. 5 questions for Kirby Heyborne are presented by Strategy Square. Let Chantel help your business grow through social media. Find out how at strategysquare.co. Shep, you ready?
Yeah, I think we know. We just got a minute ago probably the answer to number 2.
Okay, what's number?
Let's go to number one
Let's
first.
go number one. Let's see what it is.
Okay. Favorite sports movie?
Rudy.
Oh, that was
Didn't even
immediate.
hesitate.
That was immediate.
No,
It's a
I
great story.
actually got to interview. Oh my goodness,
Sean Astin?
Sean Astin. Yes, I'm going to say Rudy. No, but Sean Astin on the Roots Tech stage. That was such a beautiful experience. Yeah.
Rudy Rudiger is a phenomenal story.
It's a beautiful
his
story.
and joined the church, and we spoke at a fireside together up at the U years ago after he converted, and it was all right around a BYU game back in Notre Dame. Steve Cleveland was the mission president at the time, and he met him through all these guys, had such an impact on him, changed his life, and so the Rudy story is also a church story. It's a BYU story.
It's a beautiful story. Yeah. There we go.
There you go, Rudy.
I'm supposed to answer these quick, right?
Yeah, but then we get to elaborate and judge you on your answers.
I'm just saying we got a show to do, Dave.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Favorite singer or band? This is what we.
Gosh, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Oh, well, see, now a reason I said we probably know the answer is because you said you grew up listening to Wham in Wyoming. So you can Toad the Wet Sprocket.
He said his family listened to
My
Wham.
family, yeah. No, but I could sing Jitterbug. I could wake me up before you go, all that.
To me, totally off topic. To me, that is, when you think of a pop song, to me, that is the ultimate pop song.
It is. It's so beautifully formulated. It's got the perfect pre-chorus, perfect chorus. You hold that up to the light, and when you're writing a song, you'll write a hit.
And it's Dave's ringtone.
Let me tell you something.
Little fact.
4 years we've been doing this show. This is the first Toad the Wet Sprocket.
All right.
On favorite singer or band.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Good.
Okay, favorite song?
Could be any genre.
Any genre. I think it's Adagio in G, and it's the silence in that song. You got to listen to it. It's the most beautiful song. It's strings that are sad and beautiful, and they build and they build and they build, and then they build to a point where it can't go anywhere else, and there's silence for maybe 5 seconds, and you don't realize that your breath has been held the whole time, and then you go, and it's in that silence that you feel alive. It's a beautiful, beautiful song.
Adagio in G. That's
Adagio
another
for
Wise
strings.
Guys first.
Yeah.
That is
I'm
another
gonna have to
Wise
look that
Guys.
one up. I am not
Adagio
familiar.
for strings.
We're-
Yeah,
with
in
string.
G.
Okay. All right. In G. Okay.
All right.
All right. We're breaking new ground tonight.
good.
All right, question 4. Favorite movie role?
Favorite movie role? Gosh, I love them all. It's like saying, what kid is your favorite kid?
That's question 5.
We
Is
all
it?
have
No.
we all have an answer
it's
for
our,
that.
It's our baby. No. Gosh, my favorite role. You learn something different from each one. I got to play a British soldier in Saints and Soldiers, and Elder Calhoun was such a beautiful, fun guy. I played a real life dad in Faith of Angels. Probably the most fun would have been playing myself in Sons of Provo. I'll have to say that.
Okay.
We improvised the whole movie. We had an outline, but in Sons of Provo, it's a mockumentary. It's a documentary style show, but we're making up everything. And I got to push my kindness and sweetness to the nth level, and it's so absurdly funny, like how sweet the character I got to play, which is a version of me. My name is Kirby in it.
Nice.
But I think that was a lot of fun.
Sons of Provo. All right. And you can, by the way, you can find Sons of Provo on YouTube and
Oh, yeah.
or Vert Blockbuster. but you
Wherever
can find
bootlegs are near you.
Find it. Okay.
All right. Question 5. Favorite book you have voiced?
Favorite book I have voiced. There's a series by Gerald Lund called I forget what it is. Guys, I've read thousands of books. Sorry, Brother Lund.
You want me to
It's
Google
the
it?
Steel and something series, where it starts with World War I and goes all the way up through World War II. And it's about this beautiful German family and then a family in southern Utah as well, how they're connected.
Fire and Steel?
Fire and Steel, that's what it is. Yes.
Google, you've come through
My
again.
goodness. The beautiful thing about Gerald Lund is that if you've listened to him ever do an interview, he talks about how he's a reluctant writer, that it's, I've got a wedding coming up. We got to earn some money so that I can pay for this wedding. And then he writes a banger like The Work and the Glory.
Nice.
But this, I think, is his best written series. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
such a good series.
And we have a bonus question. We don't often do bonus questions.
All right.
You've earned one.
Okay.
You want to ask the bonus question?
Yeah, your favorite advice from your wife, Trish.
My favorite advice. It isn't verbal. She does a thing with 3 fingers that helps me avoid being an idiot. When we're in public, she'll put 3 fingers just on my leg that tells me to shut up.
Really? It's
Yes.
the 3 fingers?
So the best advice my wife has ever given me is shut up.
That's enough, honey.
It is just, that's enough. And I'll look down because sometimes she'll be like just being affectionate that we're in public and has her hand on my knee. I need to count how many fingers are out. Okay, no, I'm not an idiot right now.
Now, I get the eye rolls a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten the 3 fingers. That's a good.
Oh, she's an amazing woman. She's the most perfect human being on earth. And I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. I'm so lucky. We were best friends in high school. We've known each other forever. And there's a saying that we have in our relationship that we feel sometimes is stronger than saying I love you, is saying I choose you. Because you have a choice to stick around with this idiot. And so that's, to me, more powerful, too, when she says, hey, Kirby, I choose you.
Yes, with the 3 fingers.
With the 3 fingers.
Yeah, we all have codes. So, like, I'll reveal, if I don't know who I'm talking to,
Yes.
I will tie my shoe. And while I'm tying my shoe, Diane will go, and what's your name? And,
that is
so that's a
perfect.
code because
So, Dave, if
it's
you're
so
tying your
hard to
shoe
do
around
that.
me,
yeah, you know that I don't like. Am I talking to Steve or is I
that's a great trick. Because you meet
You have to have
hundreds and
something.
thousands of people. I mean, you're Dave McCann. You meet so many people.
and my next door neighbors. It's hard to remember.
So
but-
now you just revealed your secret.
Yeah.
Everybody
I know, but
was
this is
going
an
to know.
honest show.
You're
It's an honest
legitimately
show.
going to just need to tie your shoe, and people are going to get offended now.
I know, but it's
Gotta
like,
think of a new thing, and
It's
Diane
like
will-
you gotta have something, right? It's
You
like,
do.
Help me out.
Yeah, I usually just introduce Trish. If it's somebody that I know I have, like we've done something together, I'll say, oh, so sorry, this is my wife, Trish. And then Trish will say, oh, and what's your name? And then, oh yeah, so sorry.
That's a good
But I like
one too.
this tying the shoe. I like
tying
that.
the
Not
shoe.
bad.
I'm going to steal that.
I've had to tie
bad.
my shoe a lot
Yeah.
because names are tough, right?
They are.
and you want to get them right.
How do you remember? How do you guys remember? Because you do have a ton of people. What is it? when you-
repetition for me?
Yeah,
it's
like do you
I
do
gotta
it
think
silently?
Think about it. Yeah.
So when someone introduces, that's what I do.
And I'll write it down sometimes too, because
Yeah.
that in your brain as
Well,
you write it down.
I
What do you do, Carl?
Yeah, thank you, Darren. Honestly, it's repetition. It really is. That's doing play-by-play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, you see a number and you see a name attached, and in the course of calling their name for about 2 or 3 minutes, you're
Yeah.
set for the rest of the game.
You are?
Because it's just locked in now.
That's something. You have it written down, right?
You have stuff written down, but when Dave knows this. When you're calling a game, you're looking out. And so that reaction's got to be just like that. So it's got to be in here But after 2 or 3 minutes of saying their name all the time, then it's in there.
It's like let's like movie lines. You have to memorize all those movie lines. Or when you go out and sing, you got to know the words.
That's true. Yeah,
and you got to sing it like you know the words.
Yeah,
right. And you're a good singer. You're a very talented guy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Where can we see you? Where can folks see you next?
Hopefully in this next movie. It'll be out next summer. It's called The Pearl.
Seriously, we're not going to see it till next summer?
Well, yeah.
When's Making Good? When's that special? Is that this summer?
We're going to be filming it this summer.
And then it'll be
next year. Yeah. So got to wait a whole year.
Yeah,
just keep watching this Wise Guys interview over and over. You'll get your Kirby fix.
Okay, now when the movie's ready to roll out next year, will you come back?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah. We need this Cougar Nation to go out and support it.
Yeah, and we will. That's awesome. The great Kirby Heyborne, you can see him all over YouTube and all that stuff. And we'll look for his new movie, and we'll make sure that's not a secret, and helpthemseefoundation.org. If you want good programming, help support it. So go there and you can find out how and keep posted and all that. And BYU TV, the BYU TV app has all your Making Goods.
Yep. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thanks, Kirby.
The best.
Appreciate you being here tonight.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we'll see you soon. I'll see you before next year. We'll make sure that happens.
For sure.
All right, that's Kirby Heyborne, and phenomenal talent and a good friend, and we certainly love having him on the show tonight. Let's do our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. Presented by Redmond, the secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. And it's our pleasure to announce softball slugger Ilove'a Brittingham as the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. Shep, tell us what she has done.
What a week for her. Thursday against Houston, Elo 2 for 4 with the double, an RBI and a run scored in BYU's 13-10 victory against the Houston Cougars. Then on Friday, she went 2 for 2 with two home runs, 5 RBI and a pair of walks in BYU's 10-6 win. Then on Saturday, 1 for 1 with another home run. She was also walked 3 times and scored 3 times in the Cougars' 10-9 victory, securing their first sweep of the season. Brittingham was last year's Big 12 Freshman of the Year and a preseason first-team All-Big 12 member coming into this season. Prior to the Houston series, Elo just 1 for 28 in her Big 12 at-bats, but she played very much like that first-team honoree over the weekend. And as mentioned, a sweep of the Houston Cougars. And if you add up all of those runs, scored at least 10 runs in all 3 games, 33 total runs scored. How about that?
That is a phenomenal player who's had a struggle at times in her second go round with Big 12 pitching, but she's got her bat back.
That's right.
And you'll call the action.
I've got the game tomorrow against Utah Tech. Tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. as a matter of fact.
A matinee.
That's right.
Ilove'a Brittingham is the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. The secret's in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. Click on the link in the chat and the show notes for a discount code. It'll give you 15% off of Redmond products. We all use the products. We love it, and we endorse it, and we are grateful to have Redmond Re-Lyte as part of Wise Guys. And Elo, her bat's back. Beware, Big 12, because Brittingham has got her bat back. Our next guest is a BYU grad and is the CEO and president of the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce. Tomorrow night, the Utah Valley Convention Center will be the site for the Pillar of the Valley extravaganza. The Chamber is going to honor the 7 past presidents of BYU. Our pleasure to welcome Curtis Blair to the Wise Guys. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
What do you think of our lair here?
I love it. I mean, that's obviously all the logos of the teams in the conference, Big 12. It's awesome.
People say it's the ultimate man cave. We need a big screen TV here to finish it off, and maybe a cooler. But we got the visuals.
It's not too shabby.
I like it. Yeah,
I like your vest.
I thought I'd sport, my audience
nice
today, and thought I'd come with a freshly minted jacket from a tournament last week.
I like
Dave
that.
McCann and I
down
were
with
in.
AJ and Kihei and the guys. President Dallin H. Oaks, President Bateman, President Samuelson, President Worthen, and President Reese will be there tomorrow night. The late President Holland and President Lee will be represented by family members. This is going to be quite a night, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, if you think about the impact that those individuals have had on our region, it's mind-blowing. And then if you think about their impact on the world, it is even more, awe-inspiring, their contributions and leadership.
What's impressed you most about these men when you look at what they've done. I mean, you were just talking about it. I mean, as you prepare for an event like this, what's impressed you most as you look at these men?
Well, I'll say that by virtue of preparing for this event, I had the opportunity either to visit with the living president or a member of their family and receive the stories and understand what their why was behind being president, and things that you probably would not read in the Daily Universe or, any local magazine. Just the stories they would tell about what they took away from their presidency. That has been the thing I've been most impressed with, is that they loved their role. They bleed blue still today, and they are absolutely contributors to our community. And while they are no longer in the seat of president, they still promote, sponsor, endorse, are great ambassadors for the university.
Isn't it interesting, too, that they are also linked forever with the students that went through? Like President Holland will always be my president, and President Samuelson, they attach their BYU experience to the president.
And each president was like the right president for that role, that time, that era. I mean, I think about President Reese today. I mean, just the right president for the student body. As we entered into the kind of this global, landscape, and to watch his contribution and how the students just love and gravitate towards him. And then each president going back has had a significant role. In fact, as part of my interviewing each of them and their families, we've been able to highlight, like, what was your key moment? Like, what were you so proud of? And you'd hear, well, we brought, Coca-Cola to the campus, right? Finally. Or others would say, the Joseph S. Smith building, or we launched.
Or somebody hired Lavelle.
Or someone that hired Lavelle. Yeah. And, the national championship, that was when Holland was president in '84. And so they each, and I brought notes about, gosh, these stories are absolutely amazing. But one thing is true. Is that they believed in the vision and mission of BYU, and they live it today.
I think it's also probably exciting for them. I mean, obviously, when they're acting presidents, they get to talk about those things quite a bit. So obviously, President Reese gets to talk about these types of things now. But it was probably fun for all of these men or members of their family who kind of witnessed it from afar, to be able to talk about this stuff, because they don't get a chance to talk about it a whole lot.
Right, to reminisce on that impact. And looking back, you realize, oh my gosh, this really is a contribution that was made. And that's what Pillar of the Valley is to recognize, their leadership and their contributions. It's a chamber's highest award that we give. And they, join in the ranks of Governor Herbert, the Ray Norda, Lavelle Edwards, recipient of this award, and this is the 15th year. And Dave, I know you're emceeing tomorrow, and I know you've emceed since I've been president for the last 5 years. How many years will this make out of 15 that you've been the MC?
Probably quite a few, since 2012, I think.
Yeah.
And the beauty is, people forget the jokes every 5 years. I can just bring them back. So it's fresh material.
Just recycling
it. I've heard that one before. That's funny. But there have been. I think what's amazing from my role even is the difference makers that Utah Valley's been blessed with. In President Oaks is already an individual pillar, right? Coming from Payson and his experience. You just can't have good places without good people making it happen.
Well, there's just not enough years left remaining in my life to recognize all of the pillars, really, that have stood up this community as the best place to live, work, get an education, and recreate, right? So, Gail Miller among that list, and so many more. Bill Holterstrom that leads United Way, Utah County. The list goes on, but there are amazing men and women that have made had such an impact on this community.
Our pleasure to have Curtis Blair, CEO and President of the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce, on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. When you think of BYU and its impact on the Valley and how important it is for jobs, for education, for entertainment, for an identity, it's hard to find a more significant participant in this area than BYU.
Global brand.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have had a tremendous impact on the local economy. And then they come to BYU, they gain an education, and they bring that influence and that goodness and that learning to wherever they're from. And that's not just from other parts of the United States. That's all around the world. And so, yeah, that impact is immeasurable.
So besides Dave's open mic tomorrow night, what else is on the agenda for the dinner?
Well, so for dinner and the whole presentation, I mean, it's all well scripted. We have a couple surprise guests towards the end, so I can't reveal the ending, which is like the whole crescendo. But
it's important for the MC to not know how it's going to end.
Do you not know who he's talking to?
I don't know.
I mean, we have the ballroom dancers coming, and we have some singing groups coming, and we've got a quartet. It's going to be a fabulous evening. This tribute video will be the longest. Normally we recognize one individual and perhaps one other individual posthumously, but this event tomorrow is 7 past presidents. And the tribute video, which is normally 9 to 11 minutes, this one is 17 and a half minutes because there's so much content that we have to put into that to talk about those 7 past presidents. It'll be amazing. And truth be told, we could leave after that video. If you get squeamish or you're not feeling well, look, we could shut the event down right after the
President
video.
Reese is supposed to speak after the video.
Yes, he is. And we have it on good authority. And I've read his text. It's amazing. He's a gifted orator.
It's an awesome night. 1,100 people in there. There's not an empty seat. And it's all about honoring people who've made our life good around here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good, even with the surprise finish, which I'm now curious about. So
the one I can give away is that every participant will have their choice of a Cougar Creamery, a BYU Creamery pint of ice cream.
A pint, okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
And the MC gets a pint.
I was going to say the MC may get 2.
Might get 2. As a BYU fan, which athletes impressed you the most this year? Bear Bachmeyer going 12-2 as a true freshman. Jane Hedegren winning almost every race.
Gosh, she just won a week ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's honestly news when she does not win or set a
Hey,
record.
I'm not done with the list. AJ Dybantsa, leading scorer in the country as a freshman, or Kihei Akina, who is dominating collegiate golf as a freshman. Which of those 4 has been most impressive?
Well, I think they each have a characteristic or quality that is very impressive. I think of Kihei and just how humble he is. Yeah. I mean, he just understands his roots, and he's very grounded. You look at AJ, and what a great example of family, dynamic, and how he really respects and honors, his family, and of course Jen, just the performance excellence that she seeks after. She's a freshman. Crazy. I mean, they all have an amazing, gifted, certain series of attributes that you want to emulate, and you want your kids to emulate.
Yeah, it's a unique time.
Yeah.
It is a unique time.
Great time to be a Cougar.
It's a great time to be a
have all
Cougar.
the sports like at firing at the highest pistons and and all the pistons. That's great.
Yeah, it's good. All right, 5 questions for Curtis are presented by StrategySquare.co. Go for it.
First question: favorite sports movie?
Gosh, it's going to be a golf movie for sure. I mean, Bagger Vance. It could be. Probably shouldn't say this, but maybe. Happy Gilmore, Tim Cup.
Caddyshack's been mentioned
going to
before.
fall into that category.
All right. Favorite singer or band?
Oh, I just saw them last night in Salt Lake City.
Journey,
Delta
huh?
Center.
Journey. Those guys are the best.
And they'll have one of my 2 favorite songs. So Stone in Love. If that's, I didn't know if that was coming.
That was with Kirby. That was not part of your
like to mix it up a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Okay, but your favorite songs were which of Journey?
I'd say Stone in Love, and probably another song of mine is by Pat Benatar.
Okay.
It's a love ballad. We Belong.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
Of course.
Journey has rocked Stadium Afire twice, and they were awesome both times.
Yeah.
They're great. Okay.
All right. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Oh, it's Captain Crunch.
Yes.
No doubt about it. I love how you end up with a raw roof to your mouth. Like, that's the experience.
Okay, now when you say Captain Crunch, do you mean the original Captain Crunch or like a Crunch Berry? It's Captain Crunch.
It's the Captain Crunch.
Okay.
True.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
the way it came.
All right.
Real men we
Hey.
eat it straight.
Okay. Well, then I won't say what I was going to say next because I do
Blaine
love
likes
Crunch
Berries.
Berries. I
You
do
like
like Crunch Berries.
Okay.
All right. Favorite BYU memory, and we'll let you take that wherever you want to go.
All right. Okay, this is true story.
Well, we like true stories.
I was a member of BYU leadership, and I was featured in the Daily Universe for having won the Twister Championship
The Twister
in 1993.
Really?
I
gotta
beat
write
out
that
Michigan and Ohio State. I protected the color yellow, and they eliminated it by going at each other Michigan and the Ohio State.
Does that competition still go on today?
I don't know, but it
The
was
Twister
at
Championship.
Georgia Tech.
Well, you
in
traveled
93.
to Georgia Tech for the Twister
Well,
Championship.
It was a conference, a leadership conference. And by the way, they had 25, what are they, 25 by 25 foot Twister mats that they taped together with duct tape on a football field.
And you're number one.
And I won the whole thing.
What did you get for this?
The potential of being in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Like, trophy, ribbon, anything?
More like a pat on the back and, an attribution
And a
to my
travel-sized
grandma
Twister?
who gave me Twister when I was a young kid.
Nice.
That's cool. Who knew the Twister champion is with us tonight?
We did not know. All right, question number 5. Favorite thing about the Utah Valley Chamber?
Well, if it isn't this event and what it signals and symbolizes for our community, I couldn't think of anything better where we really do get to celebrate the lives and legacy of people that have made an impact in our community. Easy.
Curtis Blair, he's the CEO and president of the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce. Tomorrow night's the Pillar of Valley at the Utah Valley Convention Center. I'm sure it's sold out. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you there tomorrow night.
We'll be there. Thank you. Thanks
for being on the show.
That too. Okay, you bet.
That's going to be awesome. It's one of the great events of the year. Kicks off one of the greatest seasons of the year here around here with Freedom Festival around the corner and Stadium of Fire and all that stuff, and then brings back football. But it all starts tomorrow night with the 7 presidents. We call it the Magnificent 7 here on the Wise Guys, but there are tomorrow night the 7 BYU presidents. Thank you, Curtis. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jeff Burningham's going to join us in just a few minutes. Campus Notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. BYU Pathway makes truly affordable, fully online, spiritually based college degrees accessible to folks worldwide through greatly reduced tuition, weekly peer gatherings, and English support, helping students earn sooner, increase their income, and deepen their faith. Learn more at byupathway.edu. When we're done with this segment, you'll know exactly what's going on campus in just about every sport. Let's start with BYU football and some scheduling news.
Yeah, Iowa State at BYU will kick off on Friday, October 9th at Lavelle Edwards Stadium.
I love Friday night games. Don't love them all, but I like that one because the weather is going to be nice.
It was moved from a Saturday to Friday.
Yeah.
So as of right now, this is the only non-Saturday game for the Cougars. Obviously, that could change. The move gives BYU an extra day of prep prior to the Notre Dame game.
I like that too.
I like that a lot.
Because the Irish come into town the following Saturday.
That's right, October 17th.
Yeah. 5'11", 215-pound Las Vegas running back Ezra San Levia commits to the Cougars in the 2027 class. Our friend, recruiting guru Jeff Hansen of 24/7 Sports tweeted, "This is a solid pickup for the BYU offense. Had offers from Arkansas, Wisconsin, Washington, and a bunch of others. Really good, really explosive, built well," close quote. Kudos to BYU running backs coach Harvey Unga, who will be on the show next month. The 2026 class, the highest ranked in program history. Now they're already working on 2027, and they like this running back.
Recruiting never stops, Dave. It's always going.
I know. It's exhausting just to keep up with it. We talked about at the start of the show, 8 Days of Glory, and they're in September. And it has to do with BYU football and then a slew of football games over an 8-day period that are going to make life worth living.
Oh, wow. That's putting a high bar on it.
Well, that's because it's a long, hot summer ahead, and the Cubs are off to a slow start. So this has got to be it. 8 Days of Glory starts Saturday, September 5th with Utah Tech at BYU.
All right. Notre Dame versus Wisconsin on Sunday, September 6th.
The next day, Monday night, SMU at Florida State.
Wednesday, September 8th, a TBA at the almost said World Series champion, NFL champion, Seattle Seahawks on NBC. That's September 8th.
And so usually it's a Thursday night. Football is going to open on a Wednesday night because on Thursday, the 49ers and the Rams are going to play in Melbourne, Australia. It'll be Puka against Fred on Thursday night.
And then on Saturday, September 12th, Arizona at BYU.
That's a big one.
Big one. Ohio State at Texas. Oklahoma at Michigan.
That's a day.
That is quite the day filled with big-time football.
And then on Sunday, September 13th, the first full NFL Sunday. We could have gone with 9 Days of Glory because they have Monday Night Football after that, but I just cut it at 8 because that's a lot to
That's a
to
lot
digest.
going on. That is a lot
But that's
going
going to be a fun week if you love football. If you don't like football, that's not going to be a great week. But we love football. So we're looking forward to 8 days of glory with 2 BYU games in there. Men's volleyball's 20-9, 7-5. Their national ranking up to 8 from 10 after splitting the weekend series with 4th-ranked USC. Beat the Trojans 3-1 on Friday. First top 5 win since 2024. They played phenomenal. And then on Saturday, it went to 5 sets. USC's pretty good too. The Trojans beat BYU on Saturday. Up next, BYU's at number 1 UCLA Thursday and Saturday at 8 Mountain Time on Big Ten Plus. The MPSF tournament's coming to Provo at the Smith Fieldhouse in a couple of weeks, beginning April 21st.
BYU baseball playing some really good baseball right now. In fact, they're actually playing as we speak. We'll get to that in just a second. BYU getting their first Big 12 sweep at Houston on the road, 3-2 Thursday, 6-2 Friday, and then 6-1 on Saturday. They started the week actually just over in Orem, beating Utah Valley 10-5. They stayed in Texas to take on Lamar University, which is in Beaumont, Texas. If memory serves, it's about an hour to an hour and a half east of Houston. They are in the top of the 7th right now, and BYU has a lead over Lamar 2-0.
If you win 5 in a row, are you on a heater? Can we call that a heater?
You better believe they're on a heater.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and they're climbing up the standings in the Big 12, which is good to see.
Halfway point of the season, Kansas is first at 12-3. West Virginia and UCF are next at 10-5. Arizona State's 4th at 9-6, and then BYU, TCU, and Baylor are tied for 5th at 8-7. The top 12 teams qualify for the Big 12 tournament. They got a big weekend series coming up. The weather looks like it's going to get nasty, but who knows?
Yeah. After the game tonight at Lamar, they'll return home, and they will host number 23 Arizona State at Miller Park Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. All the games, of course, on ESPN Plus with that guy over there, Dave McCann, and the great Gary Scheide.
And again,
up. Weather permitting.
And you're doing softball.
I'm doing softball, so weather permitting for both of us.
Softball's 14-26, 5-10 in the Big 12. Picked up their first Big 12 sweep against Houston. 13-10 Thursday, 10-6 Friday, 10-9 Saturday. Utah Tech at BYU tomorrow at 11:30 Mountain Time on ESPN Plus with Shep on the call and Taylor Williams. And then Iowa State's at BYU Thursday and Friday at 6, Saturday at noon. Keep an eye on social media because with snow and rain coming, those times are probably going to move around. But all those games on ESPN Plus. You know, they had a good series against Houston. Hope they can keep it going.
Yeah, how fun was it?
Pitching's tough, and they've been injured and banged up, and that's everything in this league. So to get to an opponent and sweep them, that's good.
Well, and with softball, they had begun a brand new 9-game homestand, and it didn't start out on the right foot because last week they lost at home to Utah Valley. So to be able to come back and sweep Houston, one of the teams ahead of them in the standings, the next home series that they will play is against Iowa State, who's also ahead of them in the standings. They've got an opportunity to make some hay in the Big 12. And remember, it's the top 8 in the conference that get invited to the Big 12 tournament.
So you got to get in there.
BYU right now is 10, but they play and, in fact, host the teams that are number 9 and number 8. So BYU's put themselves in a good spot.
Hey, seeing a softball fly out of Gale Miller Field is pretty cool.
It is
very cool. If you haven't seen one, come watch the game and then come over to the men's game, the baseball game. You can get a doubleheader. Buy one ticket and kind of roam the seats.
There you go.
I think you can do that. Track and field, BYU women are up to number 3 in the national polls. The Weber State Spring Open and the women, Mackenzie Smith won the 100 meters in 12.10 for her first collegiate victory. And for the men, Logan Huber won the 400-meter hurdles in 51.70. Up next is the Pacific Coast Invitational Thursday through Saturday in Long Beach and the Brian Clay Invitational Thursday through Saturday in Azusa, California. So they kind of split up the teams and send them out.
All right, men's golf right now, number 23, and they are taking part on the Western Intercollegiate. Started today, and it'll go through Wednesday in Santa Cruz, California.
They're playing great golf. Kihei Akina has been phenomenal. Women's golf, the Wyoming Cowgirl Classic. BYU tied for second place. That's their highest finish of the season. Lily McCauley finished tied for 13th at even par, her best tournament of the season. Up next is the Big 12 Championships for the women, April 23rd through the 25th in Dallas.
Yeah, women's tennis. They're taking on number 29, they took on number 29 Arizona. Unfortunately, the Cougars lost 4-0. Then number 11, Arizona State beat BYU 4-2. Up next for the Cougars, the Big 12 championships Wednesday through Saturday in Orlando.
Men's tennis 13-9. They're 1-7 in the Big 12. Tough game with Utah. The Utes rallied and beat them 4-3. 27th ranked Arizona State beat BYU 4-1 in the home finale. You know what they do in Arizona? They play tennis. Yeah, they're
a lot
really
of outdoor
good.
sports.
They're really good, those Sun Devils and Wildcats. Big 12 championship for the men Thursday through Monday in Orlando.
It is spring soccer season for BYU women's soccer. BYU beat Utah 4-2 in Salt Lake on Saturday in exhibition play.
It didn't count, but when they beat the Utes, it gets on this show.
Hey, look, it doesn't matter when it happens. If it happens, we're going to talk about it.
It affects lives. Gymnastics did not renew the contract of head coach Gard Young. His 11-year run comes to an end in the same year he was named Big 12 Coach of the Year. We certainly appreciate his talents with gymnastics over all these years at BYU.
And BYU cheer and the stunt squad wins back-to-back game day Division 1A titles at the National Collegiate Cheer and Dance Championships.
You know what? They just win. That's what they do.
They're winners, Dave.
They win championships.
All they do, they wake up and they win championships.
Now you know everything that's going on. Campus Notes are presented by BYU Pathway Worldwide. Learn how to increase your education in a way that can benefit your life at byupathway.edu. Before we get to Jeff Burningham, we want to tell you Wise Guys is proudly supported by Quick Quack Car Wash. This week, Quick Quack is celebrating another grand opening in Southern California with their third location in Hemet. And as you know, whenever Quick Quack opens a new store, it holds a fundraiser for a person or a family in need who live right around the new location.
Yeah, and today's fundraiser is for a single mom who's had some complications with the delivery of her baby. As usual, there will also be 12 days of free car washes starting Wednesday at the Hemet location.
And by the way, Quick Quack Car Wash is always looking for nominations for fundraisers at their upcoming locations. So you can nominate somebody at quickquack.com/preview fundraiser. It's a phenomenal program that they do. Quick Quack Car Wash is a proud sponsor of BYU Sports. They're run by BYU guys who remind you don't drive dirty.
Hey, I was, despite the weather coming in, I was at Quick Quack earlier today getting my car washed. I love me some Quick Quack.
You know, did you not look at the weather?
But I enjoy going through the Quick Quack car wash.
I do like a clean car.
It's an experience.
Yeah, I do like a clean car. Our next guest is a BYU grad, current BYU professor, wide-ranging entrepreneur and author of the new book called The Last Book Written by a Human, Being Wise in the Age of AI. It's a pleasure to welcome our neighbor, Jeff Burningham, to the Wise Guys. He's just getting situated in the hot seat.
Nice little product placement
Look at
here,
this.
too.
Look at this, baby.
Book.
He's got the book ready.
Hey, I'm not sponsoring the podcast like Quick Quack, but it's right here.
Listen, so here you are. Did you know? And
What in the world? This is happening right up the street from me,
Yeah, I'm
like
just
every
saying.
Monday night.
Did you
you're
have any
wondering-
idea that was going on in
If
this
you're wondering
place?
what's drawing all the power out of the neighborhood and your lights flicker, it's this show.
Exactly. It's the bright lights here. Wow, this is cool.
Well,
Good to be
it's-
with you guys.
It's great to have you here. You've been traveling the world, so we wanted to make sure that we could get with you. This new book is called The Last Book Written by a Human. When did that idea pop into your mind as they said, Jeff, we need a title for this? Because I think it's an awesome title.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I ran for governor in Utah in 2020.
Yeah.
Lost during the pandemic. And I often tell my entrepreneurial students at BYU, with time and space, anything can be created. So I went into the summer of 2020 with time and space. You guys remember what that was like?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And it was nice and weird. And that's when I dove back into the venture work that I had missed for 18 months or so. And AI was the thing. I started playing with a very early version of a chatbot. Think of like early ChatGPT. So this is 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I realized right away that AI was going to be a big deal for existential angst and questions. And so, yeah, the book was born. The title, Dave, I don't remember. It just kind of came to me a year or two ago. I just thought, this could be the last book written just by a human, because every word was like painstakingly written with heart, blood, sweat, and tears. So,
Well, it's catchy because of all the books that are written, and there's a bazillion books. There's only one that says this is the last book.
yeah.
So if you're going to skip to the end of all the books, you just go right to this one. And let's talk about intelligence versus artificial intelligence. As you've studied the relationship, what differentiates the two?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think we're figuring that out. These are part of the existential questions that I think the human body is facing together collectively. Who are we really? What is happening here? And what is different between this intelligence and the intelligence that I possess in my mind? The thesis of the book in one sentence is that as our machines become more and more intelligent, which they are by the minute, they're becoming more intelligent right now as we're sitting here, we as humans must become more wise. So I think the differentiation for us, obviously, as humans is wisdom that can be found through the body. We're embodied. You can think of AI as kind of some form of intelligence in search of a body, and through lived experience. You know, it's all about the lived, beautiful, messy experience that we have as humans. I think that's where real wisdom resides.
So in the book, you illustrate the human input of discernment, reflection, judgment as a way of human beings staying relevant in this world, even ahead of AI. Talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's about being rather than doing. And Dave, I don't know anyone. You're busy. I mean, maybe Greg Wrubell's busier. I don't know. There's some hard, maybe the governor, maybe Shane but like, we're not human doings. We have become addicted to doing in a lot of regards. Like, we're trained and programmed from the very beginning to kind of look outside of ourselves for answers. It's not in the doing that I think we find ourselves. It's actually in being. So I talk about in the book how AI is just a cosmic mirror to humanity. Because think of it, it just takes all of human data and then how you guys and I interact with it, and then provides a reflection back. With that reflection, we are able to pivot or change, hopefully see ourselves more clearly. And what I would argue in the book is we can lean into our being. We can look inside of ourselves, because as we know, guys, the answers and the things that we're really looking for, they're inside of us already. They're not outside of us, even though we so often look outside.
Church leaders have talked about it even recently in hey, don't get AI confused with the Holy Ghost. Right? Because that speaks to your heart and mind, and AI's rolling out words and but you know what? Sometimes it's hard to decipher from that.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is where wisdom comes in. I talk about 3 universal teachers in the book. Your body, which we don't listen to. We need to be better at listening to our bodies. And there's intelligence in our bodies that we just ignore. And we hate our bodies sometimes. You know, I'm bald. I wish I had my curly fro when I was growing up, throwing the football around and shooting threes, but I don't. Now I just have this ugly mustache. But, you know, like, so our bodies, our relationships, our children and grandchildren, they're going to have to work to stay in relationship with other humans, because when you can have a frictionless relationship with an AI chatbot that is always taking your side, that is saying you're the most handsome and smartest guy ever.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, but it's just not reality. Right. It's in the friction where transformation and growth occurs. And so human relationship. And then the third is nature. Nature is always trying to reveal to us the reality of what is. So the point is, if we stay grounded in those 3 things, I think it would be a great blessing to ourselves and to humanity in general.
I was trying to explain to my wife today about you can watch the Cubs on TV, or you can go to Wrigley Field and experience the feeling, the smells, the ivy, the hot dogs, the Pepsi, and if you're with your son or your brothers, whatever, it's a moment that you go to create to have, or everyone can just sit home and watch it. Isn't that almost kind of the fight you're talking about? Absolutely.
I mean, think of in real life experiences that you love, and think of the actually fastest, like, growing in value things besides AI. They are live sports.
Yeah.
They are live music. Yeah. They are experiences where you are there in real life. And there's something about the experience that just can't be forgotten, that's different. Again, this is where wisdom resides. You know, the AI chatbot may be able to tell us, let me think, about the Mangum miracle in Nebraska. You guys remember there? Mm-hmm. But I was there with my 4 kids and my wife, and we felt it and we smelled it, and that's just something that is tangible and that can never be taken away. So AI feels a little flat, you know, like when you hear it, when you see it, you can kind of tell a difference. It feels flat. We need to remember that the beauty in being human is in the messiness. It's in the mistakes. It's in the challenges.
Well, and the interesting part about this is it's not going to go away. We have to learn to coexist, but without losing ourselves in the process.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. You know, I've done about 150 public appearances. That's podcasts, TV, speeches since the book came out 6 months ago. And I've been asked 151, the most important, right here down the street from me with the 2 most handsome guys and the BYU sports experts. You guys just spit more BYU sports knowledge about, you covered the dance team and everything. I mean, that was unbelievable.
That's how we do it. So what do they ask you?
So they asked, can't we just stop it? Why don't we just stop? And in an ideal world, you know, where we controlled everything, and maybe it would be the best to just stop it, but that's not realistic, and that's not the story of human progress. The book is about transformation and evolution, and AI is a big step for humans, a next step in terms of transformation and evolution. So you're right, it can't be stopped. We need to learn to make sure that it is pointed squarely on human flourishing rather than human division.
Jeff Burningham, author and entrepreneur, is on the Wise Guys tonight, presented by Brady Plus and Mountain America Credit Union. Another theme in this book of yours, which is a national bestseller, is the return of the human being. And I think we're kind of dancing around that, the return of the human being. Everyone can understand what that is, but explain it to us.
Yeah, I think, again, that the answers that we're really searching for are inside of ourselves. But in our fast-paced life, and this is only increasing in 2026 and with the release of AI, et cetera, we forget to pause, to take a breath, to look inside ourselves, and to remember of the divine unity that is at the center of this project and this experiment and this experience. That is what unites us. It's not the division that we often read in the almighty algorithm of our social media. It's not in the hate. Yeah. It's not in our differences. It's in the fundamental truth that no matter our differences, there is always more that we have in common with another human being than not. That even goes for BYU versus Utah fans. I mean, that goes for any divide, any difference. We always share more in common. So I think, as is often the case, I think the obstacle becomes the way here in terms of AI. It's a crucible that humanity will go through together. There's going to be a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. But in the end, I think it will I think it will help, or could help, to bring us back together again.
Well, as you mentioned, you know, we are by far more alike than we are different. And among your travels, you speak to people of an older generation, business people, young kids. What's the link in unifying the generations? Because everybody's coming to the table with a completely different set of circumstances.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And I think, you know, at the heart of this podcast and what you guys do is an answer to that. It's linking generations through common shared experience. And it's about being in the experience together. So if you have a faith tradition that you go to with your family, that's a good thing to do in the age of AI. If you support a sports team, you can watch it on TV. It's beautiful, we all know, but it's different to be there. And so I think in these real life experiences, we're able to pass down something that unites and bonds like the generations. What's interesting, I was born in 1977. So you guys will relate to this. What year were you born?
1976.
Okay, yeah. So we grew up totally analog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100%.
But our career has been completely digital. right?
Yeah.
And so we have this interesting perspective, and we're kind of maybe the last generation, the end of Gen X, where we remember what it was like to have a corded phone and, VCRs, like Walkmans and, VCRs, et cetera. So we grew up analog, but our career has been digital. What we need to realize is that our kids, our grandkids, they're being born into this digital world where it's easy to think that the internet is real, or it is life, it is the world. It's not. Like going outside right here and touching that grass, that's real life. And so I think it's in touching the grass, being in experience, worshiping together with the generations that we're bonded together. I think those experiences just become even more and more important in the future.
Isn't it interesting when we go back, the first time we put our Walkman on and we pushed play, and we weren't attached to a radio, and we could have it up as loud as we want because we weren't bothering anybody in the house. Wasn't that not the coolest thing?
It was.
Like, this is it.
Oh, well, I remember when DVDs came out and you didn't have to rewind or fast forward to the part you wanted. You could just hit the skip button and it would go to the next chapter in the DVD. Yeah. I thought, it's never going to get any better than this.
And you didn't have to stick your finger into the tape. Remember when you had mixed tapes and they would break. Those
were the days.
Those were the days.
All right, I'm interested in your answer to this question because you teach at BYU too. How different is today's BYU student from when you were a BYU student?
Good question. I think, again, they're more alike than they are different.
Really?
However, I think there's a little bit of additional distrust in institutions. I think there's a little bit of maybe more anxiety than we grew up with and dealt with. And when you're looking at a screen so many hours a day, that can build anxiety.
And maybe fewer tools to be able to handle it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there might be a little bit more, and this is a little more pessimism, like the system is rigged kind of against them. It's hard. I started my first technology company as an undergrad at BYU. A lot of the students that I teach will start companies, but they feel like they're behind or that it can't work, that all the good ideas, quote unquote, have been taken. So anyways, I try to engender a confidence and a belief that we are all unique individuals with unique gifts and talents. When we find that path and when we follow inspiration and the flow of the universe, when we follow that, we will be guided to kind of where we should go and what we should do. And so anyways, I try to constantly kind of inspire that. I think there's more that makes us the same, Dave. But there is a little bit of difference, and it's kind of in those areas that I spoke about, anxiety, maybe a little bit of pessimism. And those are things that we need to kind of work on and overcome.
So the name of your class, The Business of Life.
Yeah.
What do you want kids to take away from your
That's
class? What do you want them to take away from it?
If I can do it, you can do it. I've built several large companies here in Utah. I've been an investor in hundreds of the tech startups here along the Silicon Slopes. And if I can do it, they can do it. And I try to be real with them. I bring my wife, I have guests, et cetera, and I try to help them believe that it is possible. And because I really believe that it is. We talk a lot about startups. The only thing that matters in a startup is product market fit. Until you have product market fit, there's really nothing that matters. But I remind them that we're all fellow travelers, that we're on this road together, that every single person seen in this room is struggling with something that bonds us together. We need to have empathy for each other. Life is not easy. This experience is not easy. The human condition comes for us all. But that doesn't mean that there isn't brightness and hope and beauty on the other side. In fact, as you guys know, there is.
Jeff Burningham, writer, entrepreneur, BYU professor on The Wise Guys. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com all over the world tonight. And we appreciate this. Of course, the show's released as a podcast tomorrow. So we'll try to get to all of you and keep you posted on what's going on at BYU and also the phenomenal people that have been touched by BYU or do it now. And not only are you a best-selling author, wildly successful in your companies, you were a BYU student.
Yeah.
What did you learn in your own BYU experience that kind of helped you on your path?
Yeah, I met my wife, Sally, at the MTC. She grew up in Logan. Her dad was the dean of the business college at Utah State, but he was a Cougar graduate.
They all are. I always tell them that.
And he loved BYU. He would bring Sally to games, all football games, all through high school. So we're Cougars through and through, and we owe so much to that institution. We met while we were students there. My wife was a second grade school teacher, and she taught second grade and loved that career until we had children. I got an MBA from there a little bit later. Yeah. Like you said, Dave, I'm now teaching there. And so it's, we're big fans. We sit courtside at basketball and are at all the football games and some other games. And so we owe so much, and we have so many of our memories tied up in that beautiful institution. So for us, it's a place of kind of coming home. It's a place of remembering, and man, we're excited about the future ahead. I mean, it's an exciting time to be a Cougar fan. I love President Shane. I love President Reese. Great energy. I mean, I'm next to him. I play tennis with him in the morning sometimes, or next to him, and he's as competitive as anyone can be. 6 a.m. at the BYU tennis facility, and it's just an exciting time to be a Cougar, and we're excited and grateful for BYU, and it's been awesome.
Well, along those lines, and we've been talking about being unifiers and finding what makes us all similar and not what makes us different. One of those things for BYU fans is BYU sports.
That's right.
And it is a great time to be a Cougar sports fan right now, and with basketball and football and with what track and field is doing with Jane and many, many others over the last couple of years. BYU's playing a pretty big role in the sports landscape right now. What do you make of BYU athletics right now?
Yeah, I think BYU, we've known this for a while. The opportunity at BYU is unbelievable. The quality of life, just like kind of here in Utah, is outstanding. The quality of the people at BYU are top notch. And so, while KY is doing a great job, and obviously Kalani's doing a great job, et cetera, I think that we've undersold ourselves maybe a little bit in the past, and we're kind of catching up to ourselves, and we're understanding what we have here and what's special here. I think as our student body, especially athletic student body, becomes more and more diverse, I think that's an absolute strength. I think that only brings strength to the university. It brings strength to our athletic programs. And, it's an exciting place to be. If you want to come, get a great education, have a great quality of life, and stay on the straight and narrow, or make good choices when you're young and quote unquote young and dumb. This is a great place to be. Yeah. It's going to put you on a great path forward. And, we have great leaders across all our sports, coaches, and Brian's done a good job. Tom was great. And so I think we'll continue to grow. And obviously, suffice it to say, there have been a lot of entrepreneurs that have had a lot of success. When I graduated in 2001, 25 years ago, there were just not the opportunity. The economy looks so different in Utah than it did there. You basically had to leave Utah unless you started your own company like I did. Now that is obviously absolutely not the case. The opportunities are immense. And so as the economy grows, as the saying goes, a rising tide raises all boats and all ships, and BYU is well resourced, and it should be. And I don't think we should shy away from that. I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. I think it's the financial resources that we have are just one of the things that we bring to the table, and that's a part of the game that helps us be successful.
It's interesting, this connection, the human connection that you write about in your book. And look at what BYU's doing with sports. When football goes on the road, there's a fundraiser, there's a tailgate, there's a service project. They fill food banks, they gather books, they donate clothes, and when they go into community and they leave it better after they arrive, whether they win or not, and they've been winning a lot, so they go in there and beat the team and then fill their food banks. But the lasting impression and the connection of BYU popping in for a weekend is probably being maximized the most now that we've ever seen before.
I agree. Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun to travel with the team. It's fun to be a part of that, and it gives I think the world a little bit more maybe better feel for us. And I think as athletes come in like AJ and others that have a good experience at BYU and speak highly of their education and what they're learning, no matter what they believe, this isn't about, I think, believing the right thing. I think this is about belonging and feeling. And I think there's a feeling at BYU of belonging, and may I say, like the spirit, like, sure. And of winning, of confidence that is growing in the athletic program and elsewhere. And I think that's only good. And you send out these great kids like AJ and Yegor and all the guys that are ones and done. That's fine. If that's their path, that's outstanding. They're out. And they're ambassadors, for what they experienced here in Utah, what they experienced at BYU. And I think so much of that is good. We need to make sure that it's good because there can also be some negativity there too.
So much of the athletes, and we deal with athletes quite a bit, but students who come who are not a member of the predominant faith recognize that it feels different here. Yeah. The point guard for BYU, for the women's team, came here and I asked her,
Sydney
Benali, and I said, why did you choose BYU? She said, I came on a visit, felt good. Same thing with the center.
Yeah, Lotta Rokel said she came here and within 10 minutes, her and her mom both felt it and said, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and so cool. there's a feeling. There's a feeling. We hear from fans who come and leave, and what do they say about their experience at LaVell Edwards Stadium? They just go, it was amazing, never seen anything like it, never felt anything like it.
And not to tie back, but obviously I wrote this book because I'm absolutely passionate about this subject right now. Machines can't feel. No. So it doesn't matter how intelligent AI is. It doesn't matter really how intelligent we are. This actually has never been about intelligence. We've thought it may be like, how smart are you? But as intelligence becomes commoditized in a world of AI, what's left? Wisdom, heart, feeling. That's actually what really has mattered the whole time. So as these athletes come here, as they feel that feeling, that's a good gut check to follow. You follow your heart. When you follow your heart in life, you're led to the right places. Even if it doesn't make intellectual sense, you come to BYU and if you feel like it's the right place for you, and there's no doubt that good things are going to happen.
Is it true Tom Cruise is going to buy the movie rights to your book?
I don't know about Tom Cruise. Who's a bald, washed up point guard and quarterback?
Listen, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. They can do anything.
That's right.
5 questions for Jeff Burningham's presented by Strategy Square. Shep, you ready?
Favorite sports movie?
I think Hoosiers. I was a point guard, and I'm a sucker for Hoosiers.
Cannot go wrong with Hoosiers.
I grew up in Spokane, Washington.
So point
Washington
guard
State.
in high school?
Yeah, and played my freshman year at Western Washington University, actually, outside of Seattle. Same league as BYU Hawaii then. And I actually did not play. I redshirted and then went on a mission, came to BYU.
Marie Osmond sat right here and declared Hoosiers was her favorite sports movie.
Yeah,
so
I love
you're
Hoosiers.
in great company.
You're in good company, absolutely. All right, favorite singer or band?
21 Pilots.
21 Pilots.
Sometimes you have to bleed to know that you're alive and have a soul.
Going fairly recent with that. Okay.
I love music. I mean, I grew up in the 90s in Washington State, so I love Pearl Jam and I went Nirvana. All the grunge rock was happening when we were growing up. So in the old days, that's what I would have said. But I love the 21 Pilots. I love Coldplay, Noah Kahan. I like music.
Kirby Heyborne was here earlier, and it was Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Wow.
He went mid-90s.
That came right at us. We didn't see that coming either. So. 21 Pilots.
Okay, so maybe the answer is 21 Pilots. Your favorite concert.
Now, you're a music aficionado, so...
Your favorite concert.
The best my opinion, the best concert's Coldplay. I don't know. We've seen Coldplay in the Rose Bowl and Stanford Stadium anyway, several places. They put on an absolute best concert. Just great energy, actually. And so, Coldplay.
I have never seen Coldplay. I've seen videos. What's the best concert you've been to?
It actually happened last summer, and it was Metallica.
Metallica.
I love that.
Telling
Where?
you, Denver. We went over to Mile High and saw, my son and I went and saw Metallica.
I think they're going to the Sphere.
They are going to the Sphere. But I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars for one seat.
That'll be a test of your.
You got to go to Metallica and the Sphere. If that's the best.
It would be amazing.
U2 in the Sphere was amazing.
Dave's Mr. Vegas. He can probably hook me up.
Yeah,
You know what?
Dave can hook anyone up with anything.
I saw AC/DC in Vegas, which I thought was awesome because it was all the music of our backyard growing up. Celine Dion blew my mind there at Caesars just with her range.
Yeah.
But Keith Urban's my favorite because he just gives you everything you got.
Yeah.
Just gives you everything. When you leave there, you're like, he gave us everything he had.
Yeah.
I like that.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
Okay, all right. So the next question, question 4, favorite BYU sports memory.
I think that I think I'll go back to the Mangum Miracle in Nebraska. And by the way, part of that was just my kids were at the perfect ages. All 4 of them were at home. I now have one that's graduated from BYU, one at BYU, one on a mission, and then one still a freshman in high school. But the kids were at the perfect age. That was a perfect afternoon. Seemed so bleak when Taysom went down, and my heart broke for him. And then just the comeback in Nebraska. That was a great memory.
Absolutely, 2015.
You know what helped that? Blaine and I were there down on the sideline, opposite side of where Matthews caught the ball. So we're at the goal line wondering, did he get in? Did he not? But the Nebraska fans were so cool that just added to the whole experience of, it was phenomenal, but the whole time you were just treated like you say in this book, you were just treated like we're all in this together.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It was really cool. And I remember, do you remember the sign, Dave, that was there? Like, Brigham Young plowing through Nebraska since 1840 or whatever. It was just hilarious. Anyways, it was a beautiful day, a great experience. I remember that. Yeah. I was really excited about last year's run through the Sweet 16 as well, just because the team was so new. Kevin's first year, the guys came together and, unlike this year, painstakingly for everyone, and this year's team was great and had totally different circumstances, injuries, but we were just peaking at the right time. We were getting better and better. So that was an exciting run last year, I felt like, too.
Classic.
All right, question 5, maybe the most important, favorite advice that you've received from your wife.
Don't chase it. Like, I'm a type A personality, built lots of companies, ran for governor, former high school quarterback and point guard. You kind of get the personality. But so much of what's good that comes to us in life is about feeling. It's about slowing down. It's about looking inside and not outside, like we've said, and letting things come to you in the right kind of or in the right time, and in the right spirit. Things are so much better in that. So she'll often say to me when I'm wound up and going a little too hard or fast, don't chase it, Jeff.
Do you listen? Do you listen when she says
absolutely, especially Dave, since the governor's race, absolutely. I would say through the governor's race, I was 43 years old. I'm now just turned 49. So I'd say the last 6 years, absolutely, I have listened, and it's made a difference in every aspect of our lives.
The book is called The Last Book Written by a Human. It's available everywhere. It's a national bestseller. It's full of great stuff on how to live your life. And remember, machines can't feel. I think that's the best line. That's so relatable because we give machines so much credit.
Yeah. And we need to make sure that our kids and grandkids understand that. This isn't a person. They don't feel. They're trying to act like they're embodied almost, but they're not. And that doesn't mean that it can't be for good. This is the bull case for AI. The book is, but we have to be wise and discern. It's in that friction. It's in the beautiful mess of being alive and being human where the good stuff is made and where the good stuff happens. And sports teach us that so much. That's why I love team sports. All my kids have played team sports. I've coached all the teams. My son was a all-state point guard down the street at Timpview a couple years ago.
Right.
It's in team sports that so much of this is learned, which is why I love team sports.
Thank you for classing up our show tonight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
After Curtis Blair and Kirby Heyborne, we needed somebody to save it, and you saved it. So
yeah, right.
Good luck with everything. What's your next book? Have you thought of the title? After you've written the last one, did that pretty much end your writing?
Yeah, obviously the title was meant to make a statement, but not be like a prophetic whatever. I knew this would not be the last book. but we just have to be careful about what we're doing here, and we have to be wise. Yeah, I'm working on a second book. There's a little community growing around this. We have a little event actually Thursday. I'm not hard to find on social media. I wrote this book to be a kind of a conversation starter. So if it's interesting to you, I'd love to talk to you about it. And
JeffBurningham.com or what?
JeffBurningham.com. And yeah, I have obviously very mixed feelings about social media. All you have to do is run for governor, and you have very mixed feelings about social media.
That's why few people do.
That's right. But yeah, I'm at all the social medias at Jeff Burningham, and yeah, the conversation will continue. I'm already working on a second book. I won't talk about the title right now, but yeah, I think there'll be another book next year or the year after.
Okay, when it comes out, we want you right back here.
I'm happy to be here with you guys all the time.
And good luck coming up with a new title after the last book written by a human. You're almost going to have to be like Marvel and just go into another sphere where you can bring all the characters back that you've killed off.
No, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I actually think I have the name, and again, it's gonna be around this idea of intelligence being commoditized. When that happens, what's left, and what its wisdom and its humanity, and relishing the humanness of this experience. So I'm excited, and I think it's an important topic for our day. I love what you guys do. Big fans of BYU sports and BYU in general, of course. And I didn't even know this was happening right down the street. I'm going to look for the bright lights when I drive by.
Every Monday night, you can crash with us whenever you want. We've had everybody on the show. It's just it connects BYU fans all over the world and allows people to just live in the moment, be in the moment. Instead of do the moment.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff Burningham with us tonight on The Wise Guys, and teaches a class at BYU. Again, that book's available everywhere, and we encourage you to buy it and read it and apply it. And that's the last book written by a human. And we're just getting started with AI, right? It's not going away.
It's not going away. Can I say something really fast? Because I've noticed this, and I want to make mention of it.
You can say
one of the people tuning in. His name is Neil Jones.
Okay.
And he's joining us. He posted almost an hour ago from Tucson. He's living in Tucson now. Says, always hyped to be on with the Wise Guys. Good to have Shep on. I believe he's from Independence, Missouri, where I grew up too. Independence Second Ward back in the 80s. Yes, Neil. I know the Joneses. In fact, Neil's sister was my babysitter, Rayanne. And so it is what a small, small world that Neil Jones is tuning in to this, because we were in the same Independence Second Ward way back in the 80s before I moved to Utah.
So what you're telling me is you spent part of your life trying to keep up with the Joneses.
That's right. So a shout out to Neil and the entire Jones family, who I remember fondly.
All right. Hey, go to CougarTribe.com and sign up for Wise Guys on Cougar Tribe. We'll tackle some questions and have those posted for you tomorrow. And that's just another way to connect and be in the moment with us as we cover BYU sports. CougarTribe.com. Let's roll out of here with On This Day, April 13th. There was a lot of things that happened on this day. On this day, the Jeff Burningham interview on Wise Guys has happened. The Kirby Heyborne interview on Wise Guys, and the Curtis Blair interview on Wise Guys. It's been a great show.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Huh?
A lot of fun.
We learned a lot of things. On this day, on April 13th.
1742. Way back, Handel's Messiah is performed for the first time at the New Music Hall in Dublin.
First time.
And
now it's part of all of our lives.
Yes, it is.
Sabbath, the 1796, the first elephant arrives in the United States from India.
How about 1860? The first Pony Express rider reaches Sacramento. And then he got there and it's like, really? This is it?
He was not on an elephant. Although he could have been, because some were here. 1943, on this day, the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C. is dedicated by President Roosevelt.
1954, Hank Aaron plays in his first game for the Milwaukee Braves.
1954. How about 1963? On this day, Pete Rose gets his first hit with the Reds. It was a triple.
There you go. How about 1965? The Beatles record Help.
And we all know the words to that. How about this? 1970, an onboard oxygen tank explodes on Apollo 13's way to the moon. The crew reports, quote, "Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here." Hollywood changed that to, quote, "Houston, we have a problem." This is very dramatic. In the movie Apollo 13. And it was interesting that Apollo 13 got into trouble on April 13th.
Hey, I did not realize that. The movie Apollo 13, 1995.
Yeah.
Last movie I saw before the mission.
Is that right?
That was the last movie I saw prior to the mission.
The first movie I saw after my mission was Top Gun because it came out right as I went out. So I was 2 years late.
All right. How about 2015? Boy, we're jumping from 1970 to 2015. Avengers Age of Ultron premieres in Los Angeles.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
April 13th, birthdays of note, 1743, Thomas Jefferson.
Back in 1866, Butch Cassidy was born.
1743 sounds like it might be 1843 for Thomas Jefferson, doesn't that? Maybe not.
Well,
1743.
that sounds
that's
right.
a long time ago. 1942, Bill Conti, the composer of the Rocky music.
Yes.
Is there a better, and there's some really good ones, but is there a better sports soundtrack that has withstood the test of time?
That
more
or
than
Chariots of
Rocky?
Fire. That song from Chariots of Fire. But yeah, Rocky it's probably
In
at the
every
top.
sports arena, when it's go time, here it comes
yeah.
the Rocky
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Classic.
How about April 13th, deaths? Back in 2009, Bruce Snyder, former football coach at Utah State and ASU and Cal, passed away.
Bruce Snyder, good man. Our Wise Guys inspirational quote of the week is from Thomas Jefferson, who was born on this day in 1743, who said these wise words.
The government you elect is the government you deserve.
Yeah, that's right. How is he not wrong? Is he wrong?
He's not
The
wrong.
government we elect is the government we deserve. So if we're not happy with what we got, look in the mirror. You know? That's good. That was a long time ago when he said that. And it's never not been true. The government you elect is the government you deserve. Now, sometimes you might vote for somebody else and there were more voting for the other guy and you lost. But generally speaking.
What
you put in there is what you put in there. Okay. Thanks to Kirby Heyborne, Curtis Blair, and Jeff Burningham, our guests tonight. Next week, Brady Plus, President Travis Brady, and BYU Pathway Worldwide graduate Sunday Onwuchekwa is going to join us, and he's got a great story. It's always fun. Here's where you can find us this week. You'll be doing softball.
I'll be doing softball tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. on ESPN Plus, and then the games Friday and Saturday. Spencer Linton will have Thursday's softball game.
And, keep an eye on the weather because we're going to get those games in. They might have to get creative.
Yeah, rain and snow Friday and Saturdays in the forecast. So just prepare yourselves.
Remember that great January we had? Yeah, we might get
January showing up in April.
This week, I'm at Pillar of the Valley. I'm seeing that tomorrow night with a tribute to the 7 most recent BYU presidents. Arizona State BYU baseball Thursday through Saturday on ESPN Plus. I'll call that with Gary Scheide, and in the Deseret News all week. By the way, Stadium of Fire tickets are on sale. Stadium of Fire is July 4th at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. The headliner is Brad Paisley. Nitro Circus is going to be there too, so it's going to be awesome. You can purchase tickets at stadiumoffire.com. Paisley's been here before. His dad's been on our show a few times. We're working to see if we can get Brad on Wise Guys before he comes in for Stadium of Fire. But that's the band is almost secondary to the majesty of the night. But then when there's a good band, it's just awesome.
Next level.
Yeah. And we had Journey recently. They were great. Jonas Brothers were fantastic. Last year, Rascal Flatts. And they were I thought, okay, this will be pretty good. But they were great. And then the fireworks came and just elevated the night. Gun smoke in the air.
Nothing.
It's like the best cologne.
Yes.
Gun smoke
There
in
you
the
go.
air. We remind you, Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Supplies plus support. Find out more at bradyplus.com.
And by Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Find out why they can do what they can do for you at macu.com.
Our Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Ilove'a Brittingham is the Re-Lyte Athlete of the Week. How many home runs do you think she's gonna hit tomorrow?
Just tomorrow?
Yeah, just tomorrow. Because it could be blowing out.
Yeah, it could be blowing. I'm going to go 2 tomorrow.
2 tomorrow.
I'm going to say 2 tomorrow. For the whole week, at least 13.
Sky's the limit. Good luck on that call. Thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
You're always welcome here. You and Bilo, and we got a great stable of wonderful personalities. So it's a thrill to have you here. We remind you, Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. We'll see you at all those other things, and then back next week for more Wise Guys here on Monday nights, the magical Monday nights, as we march back towards another football season. We're always marching.
Always
football.
looking forward to the next sport.
Thanks, everybody. See you later. Have a good week.